Alright, so in this video I'll be showing you, or we'll be looking at a past paper question. Now this past paper question is taken from June 2023, and this is a mechanical engineering drawing paper. Alright, and as you know, this is paper 2, technical drawing paper. Now typically your exam will last for 2 hours and 40 minutes. Alright, now if you're doing this by traditional method, meaning that you're using T-square and pencil, or you're using AutoCAD, the process will remain the same. However, in this instance I'll be using the CAD version, AutoCAD. Alright, now here we have the question here, or the section. As you know, the exam is separated into 2 major sections. The main portion, which is the assembly drawing for mechanical drawing, and then a second portion that has to do with sketching design and 3D modeling. Alright, now here it says mechanical engineering drawing, and it says that this paper consists of 2 questions. It is divided into 2 sections. Section 1 is the assembly, and section 2 is the sketch and design, and you're required to answer both questions. Alright, now candidates may use either the traditional method or the AutoCAD or CAD based version. Alright, whichever CAD software you're using. Now section 1, assembly drawing, it says that you should not spend more than 2 hours on this section. However, you can complete this entire section here within 40 minutes to 1 hour, and you'll have an extra hour to fine-tune or even sleep, wake up, and then review your work. Alright, now it is very important that you read the instruction. I can't stress this enough. You have to read the instruction. That's how you're going to know what to do, especially when it comes down to mechanical drawing. In this instance, it says that figure 1 on the enclosed sheet, and that is down here. This is figure 1, as you can see here. Now on the day of your exam, you'll have your paper in front of you. However, for me and this demonstration, I'll be showing you within AutoCAD, so I'll have an image of the assembly part sheet. Alright, so it shows the first angle orthographic projection detail of the parts that makes up a step down pulley. Alright, so we're given the part sheet and we're going to be doing an assembly drawing. After that, it's telling us how it's supposed to be assembled. So it says in the assembly, the bracket, which is labeled number 2, are fitted on either sides of the plate, which is labeled number 1. And let me just scroll down a bit and show you. So this is the base, which is labeled number 1. This is the bracket, which is labeled number 2. All of these parts have a number. Alright, so they're basically telling you where what goes. And it is secured in place by 4 bolts, alright, which is labeled number 7. So anyway, see number 7, that's the bolt. A sleeve, which is labeled number 6, is fitted into the pulley, and you'll see the names of them down below on the part sheet. Alright, other things to include hexagonal nut and washer, which is labeled number 5, and it is used to hold the screw shaft, alright, which is labeled number 4, in place. Alright, now here you'll find the instruction on what to do, and it says A, you are going to be drawing a full size, so you're drawing the assembly based on the measurements given in first angle or third angle orthographic projection. Alright, now in the assembly, here is what you're going to be producing. You're producing a plan view of the step down pulley showing all hidden details or all hidden features, and once you have done so, you'll get 30 marks. Then you're required to do a front sectional elevation of the step down pulley along the cutting plane XX. Now you'll see these XX on the drawing. So here is the XX right here and here. So you're literally cutting the object in half, and it will be the same thing on this and the other parts as well. Alright, so let me scroll up here. Now after you've done XX, you're going to be showing 8 main dimensions, which must include a length, a diameter, a radius, and a metric screw thread specification. You're also going to print the title, step down pulley, assembly, and the scale used to draw the object or the projection symbol used. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing now. Alright, now it says that all of this here is worth 90 marks, and the fillets, any fillets that you see, are going to be equal to 3 millimeters. Alright, here we have the sketch and design portion, but we're just going to get into the assembly drawing. Now they already told us what is going to go where. Alright, now this would have been covered, or these type of stuff would have been covered in the syllabus, pulleys and so forth, so you'd have an idea of how to assemble these. Now my recommendation is in the exam is that once you have identified what you're going to be doing, is that you're quickly going to be reproducing what you're seeing, or all the image that you're seeing on the part sheet. Alright, so if it asks for a plan and a sectional elevation, front sectional elevation, you should only be concerning yourself about the plan and the elevation. So for example, the base plate here, this is the plan at the bottom because this is the first angle, this is the elevation at the top. For the bracket, here is the plan at the bottom, elevation at the top. This is just an end view of you looking at the object from the right hand side. For this here, the pulley arm, the pulley. Now the reason why you're only seeing one image is because when you're looking at a cylinder, right, it doesn't really matter which direction you rotate it, it's always going to look the same, basically like a rectangle. The only time the image will change is if you're looking at the end, and all you'll basically see is a circle. So everything that is circular, whichever direction you're looking at it, from the top or in front, is still going to look the same way, like a rectangle. Alright, the only difference is that at the end view, you'll see a circular figure. Alright, so and that's the same for all of these here. As you can see here, this is a circular figure. That's this M10 bolt. Alright, here, and this is what the end view will look like. Alright, for this washer here, our sleeve, it's going to look like a circle at the end. The screw shaft, same thing. Pulley, the same thing. Alright, all of this is the same thing. Alright, now everybody should understand about the rules of assembly drawing, so I'm just going to get into things. Now whenever you encounter any questions like this, I recommend you breaking down the object into, or the parts into, simple shapes. Alright, so this is a rectangle, this is a rectangle. Alright, you know the width and you know the height. So for example, for this end view here, or this elevation here, right here, you have the width, which is 124, and the thickness, which is 10. So all you're basically doing is that you're drawing a rectangle that measures 100 and, let me double check, 124. So I'm entering 124, pressing my tab key, and then the thickness, which is, what is it, 10. So we're simply redrawing what is given to us. Alright, now I'm going to be drawing my plan view here, and it's also a rectangle. The width is 124 still, and the height, in this case, not really the height, but this 56 here, we're going to be drawing a rectangle, 124 by 56. So let's draw that one. Rectangle. Let me turn on OSNAP here. So it's going to be 124, tab key, 56, enter. Alright, so we have that in place, and remember, we're looking at our drawing and it's telling us that this curved area here, it has a radius of 5. So what I'll be doing is that I'll be using the fillet tool, clicking on that, and I'll be changing the radius to 5. And then now I am now going to be clicking on the corners like this, and that should round over the edges. So that's a technique that you can utilize as well. Alright, once those are in place, it's time for us to add those holes, those 4 holes around the drawing. Now our concern should be, where are the centers of those holes? Alright, and as you can see here, it says that it is actually 10 millimeters away from the side. Alright, and I'm assuming that it's also 10 millimeters coming down as well. So all I'll do is that I'm going to be probably offset this outer line by 10, and that should take me where it should be in theory. Alright, so it should be 10 from either side. Let me double check. So that's 10 there, and I'm going to repeat for the other side just to explain and show you guys what is going on. That's 10 as well. So it means that the center of this circle is going to be right here. Now, how do I know where the center is going to be, or what the radius of those circles are going to be here? We can literally see it right here. It says that there are 4 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, and the whole diameter is 10. So it means that the radius is going to be 5. So I'm going to be drawing some circles with radius 5. Alright, once I have that in place, I can easily, whether you're going to copy, mirror, whatever technique you're going to be using, copy those circles to either ends of this piece here. So that's the base plate done and completed for the old section that is going to be inside here. What you can do, you could utilize this technique here. They don't tell us what the radius of this circle here is, and they tell us here that the radius is 10. Alright, and it's saying that from the end to the inside here, the distance is 10 millimeters as well. Alright, but since I'm drawing both of mine together, because if you had drawn this here broken line, what you could have done is probably offset 10 in the middle like this, and then to get the whole portion as you're seeing here is to simply offset 5 on either side of the line. So you'll offset 5 on either side of this line here, and then you'll have it. Alright, but since I did this over here, all I can do is simply probably project some lines up to capture that. So there's many methods in which you can use to get that hole in the middle there, if that makes sense. Alright, so that would be that. You can even do one side and then mirror to the other side. The option is totally yours in terms of like how you want to approach the drawing. So here we have this here. Alright, now this is my base plate all done and dusted. So it's time for me to now do the bracket. So I'll do the plan view for the bracket, and I'll do the elevation for the bracket. Now here is the bracket. Now this is also, you can consider it to be a rectangle as well, looking at it. And I want you to know this as well. Think about this. You see, if you don't see a measurement on the plan view, look to the elevation. If you don't see it on the elevation, look to the plan. So for example, you're not seeing the width on this here. So it means that the width is up here. So it says that it's 30. Alright. The depth of this here, as you can see, this is the end view, is actually 56. So it's going to be have a rectangle of 30 by 56. So I'm going to draw a rectangle 30 by 56. So rectangle going 30, tab key 56, and there we have a rectangle. It's now time for us to add the other features. Now we can do the curves on the corner, similar to what we did before. We did the fillet thing, and then we change the radius to 5, and then we fillet the corners like this. Alright, once that is in place, we now need to add those circles. We need to add also this line here across here. How do we know what the thickness is? Because we're not seeing it on the plan view. What do? We look to the elevation. Here it is. See how everything lines up? So that's 10. So let me just grab onto this, and I'm going to explode what I have here, and I'm simply going to offset the 10 which is this line here, to my right, and then that is in place. Once that is in place, it's time for me to do the center line, or the rib portion, which is basically this piece here that is right in the middle here. Now this here is basically going to be a line in the middle that I'm going to be drawing, and it says that the width of it is 8, so it means that I can easily offset 4 on either side of this line here. How simple is that? Once that is in place, it's just for me to add the circles. Alright, now it will also tell us where the circle is located. So it says say that the circle is located where? 10 from the top, 10 from the side. So let's offset some lines so we can locate the center of that circle. Because anytime we're dealing with circular object, our main concern is where is the center of these circular object. Alright, so in this case, the center will be somewhere along here. We only now need to know what is the radius of the circle. Now here it says that the diameter is what? 10. So it means that the radius is going to be what? 5. So circle radius 5. And then now you can either mirror or copy to the other side. In this instance, I'm just going to mirror, but you could have always copied to the other side. Let me turn on ortho for this, and I encourage you to restrict your cursor when you're doing these drawings, because you want to limit the movements. You want to be drawing in a rigid fashion. What this does, it prevents errors and it makes for a more accurate drawing. So as you can see here, the plan view for our bracket has been completed. Only thing that is left for us to do now is to add or draw our elevation. Alright, and once we have that in place, you could project lines up to easily find out where the respective parts are going to be located. So we basically have all of that in place here. I'm going to draw a line across like that. Then we need to find out what is the overall height of the object, so on and so forth. Alright, so we're seeing that from the base to the center of the circle here is 55, and we know that from here to the outer end of this curve here as a radius. Alright, so whatever that radius is, we can add it to the 55 to know how tall our object is going to be. So we have 55 and we have the radius here. We can see this pointing to it, 15. So if we add 5 to 55, that's 60, and then we add in 10, that's going to be 70. So I can now easily offset this line down by 70, and then I'll have the overall height of my object. I can now clean up my drawing by either trimming, filleting, whatever method you choose. Let me go ahead and change the radius back to 0 of my fillet. Alright, just like that. And at the top as well. I'm also going to do here as well. Now at the bottom here, the offset is also for, and that is for this little portion here. Alright, which is basically 10 millimeters. So you know we can offset 10 as well up from the baseline here, and then we continue to fillet, trim, whatever method you choose, the corners. Alright, just like that, filleting the corners. In this corner there is a curve, and remember it says that all curves are, and let me double check, all curve or fillets are 3 millimeters. So let's go back and let's add the fillet, 3 millimeters. So once they don't tell us, we're working with that 3 millimeters. So let's fillet that. Alright, so now once that is in place, it's time for us to draw the web, which is basically this portion here, and they tell us how far up it's going, because we know where it's starting already right here, but how far is it going, we don't know. It is actually 29. They give us the measurement. Alright, so what are we going to do? Whichever method you choose will work just fine. In this instance, I'm going to offset that 29 up. So I'll offset this line up for reference, and anywhere it touches the bracket, not the bracket, I'm simply going to draw a diagonal line from where? Here, because I'm simply copying what is on the paper, you know. That's all I'm doing. And then I add whatever needs to be added, such as holes and so forth. So for example, there is a hole across here, and the hole is actually 55 millimeters up. So let me offset that 55 up. So that line there will now become my little center line. I'll offset that up and down by whatever the radius of the hole is going to be, or should be, right in here. You can see those in detail line. How do we know what it's going to be? This is it right here. This is the hole, 12 millimeters. So it means that I can easily offset 6 millimeters on either side. 6 millimeters on either side. And then I'll trim what needs to be trimmed out. Alright, just like that. Now once that is in place, that's the bracket out of the way, we can now turn our attention to things such as the pulley. As you can see here with the pulley, think about the pulley. These are basically 3 rectangles. So what I'll be doing is that I'll be drawing 3 rectangles. So I have the first rectangles whose width is 20, height 60. So I'm going to go with that one first. So 20, tab key, 60. I'll then turn my attention to the next rectangle, which is this one here, which is also 20 by 40. 20, tab key, 40. I'll turn my attention to the next rectangle, which is going to be 20 by 20. So let's draw that one. 20, tab key, 20. So I have 3 rectangles now. I'm now going to move them into position by simply selecting them and moving them, ensuring that I select a suitable base point, such as the center here, to place it in the center of this one here. I repeat the process for this one, selecting a suitable base point, the center here, to match with the center here. So my base point has to be a mutually convenient position that is shared by all parts that I'm trying to connect together. Alright, so if I had hold on to it up here, it would be difficult for me to know exactly where it's going to be, but I can easily pinpoint the center using OSNAP. Alright, so there we have our little center line. We need to have the hole running through the middle now, and that is going to be in the form of an in detail line. The diameter of the hole is 15, so it means that we can offset this line here on either side by 7.5 to get that hole. So we're offsetting 7.5 to get that. Then we'll trim what needs to be trimmed. And these are not going to be center line, they're going to be in detail lines. Alright, these should be object line. And that is done, that portion there done and dusted. So we can now turn our attention to other parts, such as what? We have our screw here. Alright, now again we're simply reproducing what is here. Alright, and again these are basically rectangles. Alright, so we're going rectangle, click, the width of it is 16, tab key, and then the height is 15. So we have that one out of the way. Let's draw the other rectangle, which is basically this big portion of the shaft here. Alright, now they say from the end to the other end, that is actually 94. So that's 94, but we're not going to be drawing the entire 94 because this portion here is a bit reduced. So we're going to minus that 10 from it. So we're going to draw it 84 instead. So the width of it is going to be 84, and the height of it is going to be 12. So let's draw that rectangle. Click. What's the length? 84. Tab key. What's the width or the height? Whatever it may be. 12. let me undo that, and rectangle, click 84, tab key. Alright, then we have 12. Alright, once that is in place, we can now draw this rectangle here, which is going to be, they say that the diameter is 10, so you know it's going to be 10 by 10. So let's draw that one there. So it's rectangle, 10, tab key, 10. Let's now put them together. So this will now be where, let's move it from here to here, ensuring that I'm selecting suitable base points. Move this from here to here, almost there. So we now need to draw the little lip that is on this thing here. Alright, now that little lip there is going to be the same width as this here, which is basically the washer. Alright, now the washer is 17, so it means that we're going to be drawing a little lip on this here that is 17. So let me add my little center line to this here, and the half of 17 is, I'm not sure, 16, that's 8, 8.5. So I'm going to offset 8.5. Please bear in mind that there are other methods of doing this. I'm just choosing to do it like this. Let me grab onto these rectangles and explode them, so I can have a bit more maneuverability, if that makes sense. No, it doesn't. Alright, so let's extend this line. So you're going to extend. If you're using AutoCAD 2022 or above, then you can easily extend your lines. The thickness is going to be equal to whatever the washer is. Washer is 2, so we're going to make ours 2. So we're going to offset 2 millimeters like this, and we'll extend it as well. And then we clean up our drawing by trimming, filleting, whatever method you choose. So we're getting rid of all these extra lines. Now once that is in place, it's time for us to add the threadings to our end bolt over the here, that is to here. So what are we going to do? We're going to be offsetting 1 on either side of the line. So we're going to offset 1 inwards, 1 inwards, 1 this way as well. You see where those lines are crossing like that? We're going to be chamfering, or you could fillet the corners of that. It's up to you. Alright, you could even draw a line from here across like this as well. Alright, so the option is totally yours. Alright, so you could grab onto that, probably delete that, and then do some more cleaning up and get rid of some of these extra lines. Alright, getting rid of some of these extra lines. Alright, there we go, something like that. Alright, now once that is in place, it's time for us to complete the other portions, alright, such as the sleeve. We have the screw and all that stuff to do. Alright, so we're going to do the sleeve now. The sleeve again is a rectangle, so what are we going to go? 60 by 15. Alright, let's activate a rectangle tool. So we're going 60, tab key, 15. Alright, then we need to show the hole that is inside, that is basically that in detail line here, because this is a hollow tube. Alright, and they say that the diameter is 12. So what you can work out whatever maths you want to work out and decide how you're going to do it. Alright, so basically if the overall thing is 15 and this is 12, it means that there's a 3 millimeter thickness combined on both sides, 3. So it means that if that is shared, it's going to be 1.5 on either side in terms of like thickness. So we can easily offset this line here on either side by the 1.5. Let's explode this and then offset by 1.5 on either side of this line here, and instantly we can change this to in detail line because it is not in our view but it's there, and we all know that outlines are going to become object line. Now when you're doing the assembly, you might, and that's might, well, you will not be seeing this in directly in your view, so you'll have to make all of it in detail, but for now I'm leaving it like this. So that's the sleeve out of the way. So we now need to complete the M10 round head bolt. Alright, so based on how we're looking at it, so from a plan view standpoint, it's going to look like this here, a circle. From the front view or the plan view, it will look like, no, the front view, it will look like this, or even the end view. So we're going to be drawing these now. So we'll start with drawing the plan view for this round bolt here, which is basically a circle, diameter 13, so it means that the radius is going to be 13, 6.5, and then there's line running across the middle. So we have line running across the middle. Let's simply just offset that by 1 on either side, and that should take care of that. You know, we're going to have center lines, but we can always add that afterwards. Let's place this on our object layer. Alright, let's now do the end view, which is basically going to be and let us have it. So we have 10, so we have some rectangles to draw. Alright, so we have overall thing is 20. Alright, and this is at M10, so it means that we're drawing a rectangle whose length is 20, tab key, width is 10. So there we have it. Alright, now once that is in place, we can now draw the remaining portion. Let me explode this now. Alright, so what do? They say that the thickness of the screw head or the bolt head is 3 millimeters, so we can just easily offset 3 millimeters from here going this way. Alright, and that will be done and dusted. So the overall thing is 3, and the slim down portion, as you can see here, is actually 2. So we're now going to offset 2, and we're simply going to be figuring this out now. Alright, so now once that is in place, we're now going to be offsetting the thickness for this here in terms of like how much it overhangs. Alright, so we need to find out how much that is. Alright, how much does it overhang? It doesn't say. Oh, so if that's 10 and this is 13, it's going to be well, let's see. Let's move this here. Let's move it. Grab onto this here. That there. Find the center. Like that. Alright. I'll just project some lines instead of doing any calculations. So at least I'll know that the screw hangs off by that amount right there, as you can see. And then now I can now easily extend lines to meet. Alright, and then I can draw my curve using the 3-point arc. So from here, right here, that's this end here to the center, then back down to this end. Alright, once that is in place, I can now remove those construction lines. Alright, and this one as well. This here, I'm just going to copy it over. Let me turn on ortho for this, and then I'll trim using selection of my cutting planes. Get rid of that and that. I can also trim out here, and we'll connect the end of these lines. Let's look at the object. What does it look like? Yes, it does. So let's cluster it out this end here. So let's fillet. Let's check to ensure that there isn't any radius. 0. Fillet here to here, and you can always trim as well, you know. So whatever method you choose is perfectly fine. Alright, so the only thing that's left for us to do now is to add the threading. Now we can just assume that the threading starts halfway, because we're only see the threading being indicated on half of this here. Alright, and again we are going to be offsetting one on either side of the lines. Here, here, here as well. And again, same treatment. We can draw lines from here to the corner, maybe down here, then back across like that. We clean up our drawing by either trimming or filleting. The option is totally yours. Alright, let's trim some more. Alright, just like that. Now once that is in place and done and dusted, there is only one thing that's remaining for us to draw, and that is the hexagonal nut and washer. Alright, so I'm going to start by drawing the washer, which is just a rectangle as well. Thickness 2, height 17. So I'm drawing that. Thickness 2, tab key 17. Alright, then there's going to be a hole on the inside, which is basically 10 millimeters. So what do? I can easily draw a line in the middle and then just offset 5 on either side of the line. That will make things a lot easier for me or us. And that's that portion there, done and dusted for your washer. Place this on our object layer. Alright, now we now need to draw what? We now need to draw the nut. Alright, so it's the same treatment. It is a rectangle as well. So we go rectangle, click. The width of it is 7. Tab key. And the height is going to be, it says, I'm not sure what this is. Oh, so it is an M10. M10, so let's work with 10. Oh, sorry, 10 is the hole. So it's actually going to be 17 as well. So what am I going to do? Simply delete that, draw another rectangle. Alright, width, what is the width? 7, tab key, 17. Alright, then the hole is going to be in the middle, but we're simply going to be redrawing the bolt itself, or the nut itself. So what we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be dividing this line here into 4. So I'm going to do div, enter, click on this line here. Oh, let me explode this first. So let me div, enter, click on this. Alright, then 4, enter, pt, enter, change to something that I can see. I have those markers there. I'll just easily draw lines from those pointers across like this. I'm going to leave the middle one. Alright, so once that is in place, I'm going to offset. Offset this line here in by 1, and then now I'll use this as a reference, so I can now use my arc tool to draw a curve from here to the middle, then back down like this. Alright, just like that. Once that is in place, I now need to draw a curve here and here, but in order to do the 3-point curve, you'll have to have 3 points. So I'm drawing a line from here to here, that's this line here. So I'll have something to snap to. So I'm going to go arc from here, midpoint, and back down. And then now with this curve, now I can easily mirror this curve to the other side. Alright, with those curves in place, I can now mirror it to the other side of the nut. So I'll go here, click, 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 mirror command, find my mirror line. It's going to be the middle of the nut. No, and that is my nut. Alright, so now I can clean up my drawing by removing the portions that I do not need on my drawing, such as this middle line here, and trimming out these portion here. Alright, just like that. Alright, we also trim off the corners. Alright, now just like that, we have done all the parts, or completed all the parts. So it's time for us to put them together now. Alright, so we're going to be working with the plan view first. So it means that we're only concerning ourselves with the plan. Now, so let me grab onto these and place them on my object layer. Let me grab onto these, place them on my object layer. I'll place what needs to be on their respective layers as I'm going along. Alright, so as you can see now, what you're going to be doing, and this is my recommendation, is that you're going to be making copies of all the parts that you have drawn. Now the reason for this is, if you were to make a mistake and something got shifted, if you were to try to snap onto that or make adjustment, it's going to make things a bit difficult for you. Alright, so to save time, I recommend you simply just making copies of the drawing. So this is what we're going to be doing the plan assembly on. Alright, now they say that this here, that's the bracket, there's two of these. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'll be mirroring this to make two copies facing each other, because these are the brackets for the pulley. Alright, one is going to be placed, and I'm moving it right on this side, and one is going to be placed on this side. So I need to select a suitable, a mutually convenient point that is similar between both points, whether the center of something or whatever, but in this case I'm going to be using the center of the circles where the nuts is going to be. So I'm using it there, and you'll realize that things automatically line up there. It's going to be the same thing on the other side, right over here like this. Alright, now that is in place. Alright, now if you remember this here in the middle, this in the middle has to be removed because it's not a part of the object in a sense. Alright, as you can see, it's just a line. Now these also have curves on them, but I'll add it afterwards. Now once that is in place, we need to add what? The shaft. Alright, if you recall, there is a hole inside of the shaft, as you can, inside of the bracket right here, where the shaft will pass through. You can see that circle. We need to represent that as well on ours. We did not add it, so we have to add it now. Now the diameter of that is 12, so we're now going to easily add that 12 millimeters gap in here. So let's go L line here for now in the center, and then offset 6 on either side. Once that is in place, now we can easily place it on the respective layer, and then mirror it to the other side, and that should fix our problems. So let's mirror it to the other side using a suitable base point or mirror line. Once that is in place, let's add our let's place our shaft. So our shaft is going to be smack in the middle there, so I'm selecting a mutually convenient point that is similar between the object that I'm moving and where I'm placing it. So what am I going to do? I'll be copying, because remember, we copy this here. I'm grabbing onto it right in the middle there, and I'm going to be placing it right here. Let me make sure I'm snapping to the right point. So let's move there, and then I click. Now you'll notice some things happening here. So for example, this is a center line. Alright, So you'll notice that we have this web here underneath, right? But this is now covering it. Now if it's covering it, it means that we're not going to be directly seeing that portion of the web. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be converting these lines now, which are a part of the web, to hidden detail lines, because they're not visible. Alright, for the portion that will be visible, that has to be solid line. So we're going to draw that in using solid align. Alright, I'm just drawing over it in this instance here, but the option is yours what you want to do. Alright, also I can also edit my line type scale so that we have more spaces between our more dash line. So I'm going 0.5, enter. Alright, now once that is in place, it's the same treatment over here. The shaft is now inside of here. Alright, and if it's inside of here, it means that it's a bunch of hidden detail lines that are going to be seen inside here. So we need to do some conversion here as well. So what we'll be doing is that if I were to paste this line on the hidden detail, the entire thing is going to be hidden detail. So my recommendation is that you trim out the portion that you're looking to change the hidden detail, and then after you simply redraw them in and then place them on the relevant layers. So for example here, hidden detail, and I'll draw these in. I'll draw in the first one, and since all of these are the same height or length, I can easily just copy it to the other spots like this. Alright, that is done and dusted, and I simply can use the match properties tool to add this to hidden detail. You know, if I go here, everything is going to be converted to hidden detail. I don't want that. So I'm going to be trimming here, and then redraw them as hidden detail. So from here to here, and then we grab CP, enter, grab onto this and paste it here. Alright, so all of this here is going to be exposed. Notice what is happening here. This portion here is now under or covering that part of the web. Alright, so you know some stuff are going to be hidden detail there as well. So once that is in place, we can now add our screw here that is going to be where, and we're going to be copying, and we're copying with base prime in the center, and we're placing it where these bolts should go, because they're going over all points there. Now notice what is happening now. The hole that was there before, so what is going to happen now is that those lines are now going to become what? Hidden detail, because they're now invisible. Alright, so let's do this. Because I have some double lines, things are a bit hiding, so you know you have to get rid of some of them. So let's do this again. So we have this, we have this, and we're placing them on hidden detail. Alright, so those are hidden detail lines. Alright, because they're not visible. Now it's time for us to add the sleeve into our pulley here. So we're going to grab onto it. So we're going to make copies. Remember, we're making copies. Placing it here. Let's grab onto our sleeve, and we're placing our sleeve in it as well. So we need to find the center. Let's grab onto it here and see what happens. Let's place it. Now all of this is within the sleeve or within the space, so you know everything now are going to become what? Hidden detail, because they're now inside of the pulley. So now let's place our pulley wheel. Where are we going to place our pulley wheel? We can place it anywhere in the center of our shaft like this. So we grab onto it here and just simply place it there. Alright, now what else are we missing? So we now need to add what? Our washer to the end over here, and the nut as well. Now with our pulley now in place, there are some portions that are also going to be hidden, such as I'm seeing a line here, but I think it is actually the shaft. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'll be selecting these lines here and removing them. This, let me double check, and let's place them on the relevant layer. So this hidden, remember this portion here is solid, so we have to close out that from here to here. Let's do this as well. Remove. This is also hidden details, so let's match some properties. Over here, not going to be visible. I mean, this is kind of redundant what I'm doing here, because based on how the hidden detail line falls, that would look like a solid line anyways. Alright, so once that is in place, it is now time for us to add the bolt and the nut and the washer. Alright, so let's place these. So let's grab onto it, copy, and let's place it using midpoint or the center as my little snap point. So right there. Then we're now going to do the nut. Let's copy midpoint as well, and let's place it where? Right here. Now that means now all of this here on the threaded end of this shaft here is going to become hidden features. So let's place them on the hidden detail layer. Alright, just like that, including this portion of the web as well. So you know that's going to be hidden. So let's just trim that out, and then now after we can draw them in back on the hidden detail layer. So let's go. So from here to here, and the other parts is here to, I guess, here as well. Alright, then all of that now is in place. Now you see this part that is hanging off, so our pulley is a bit wider than the base plate, so it means that between here is going to be in detail, because it's not, something is blocking it. So what do? We remove, and we're going to be redrawing it using hidden detail lines from here to here, and from here to here. So that will be basically your plan view done and dusted right there. So this is the plan view. Alright, and you know you can sort out that in terms of like dimensions and such. Put in your center line. So where would center lines be? Center lines would be wherever there are circles. So for example here, alright, and because these are 4, we can easily just copy them and place it to these locations as well. Let me turn off my ortho. Snapping there, snapping there, snapping there. Alright, we have the center one running down the center already. Now once that is in place, it's time for us to put together our section view again. So this here is where we have, let me place this on my object layer. So again we are what? Copying. So right there, and then we're going to take our end views and we're copying them and we're placing them where they needs to be. So for example right here, oops, snapped the wrong thing. So let's turn that off, and I'm not sure where I held on to, so I need to sort that out. So move, grab onto it right here and then place it. Alright, once that is done, I grab onto all this and mirror it to the other side. Let me turn on ortho for this. Click there. Nope. Let's just erase these for now. Alright, as well as this just for now. Alright, so remember, for your sectional view, all the in detail lines such as these here, the hole here, and so forth is now going to become solid lines. All right, now once that is in place, let's add our shaft. Let's copy this shaft and let's place our shaft where it needs to be, which is basically right here. So now I'm unable to place it exactly where I want it, so I need to put something there so I have something to snap to. So I'm going to draw a little line. I'm going to draw a little line across here like this. Alright, and then I'm going to grab onto this and I'm going to move it where it needs to be, from right there to right there. Alright, now once that is in place, the next step is to well, we already did it here, so we're just going to copy this and we're going to place it in the middle there as well. Alright, so let's grab onto this CP, grab onto the center, let's place it. So it was not placed properly, so we're going to sort that out. So I want it to be directly in line with the one that I have above here. So let me just put a little reference line so I have a point to, of reference to snap to. So grab onto this, copy, base point there, let's place it right here at least, yeah. Alright, now that is what that's going to look like. Now remember, all your hidden detail lines are now going to become solid lines. Alright, and we're also hatching the portion that we cut through that are solid. So for example, we're hatching using the steel pattern hatch. We are hatching, let's find the one that says steel, steel here. So we're hatching here, here, and here. Alright, let's place this on our respect on the layer that we want it to be on. Do we have a hatch there? Yes, we do. What else are we hatching? We're hatching this solid piece here as well. So we're hatching here and here. We're hatching here and here. We do not hatch this area. Why? Because it is a web. So we do not hatch webs. Annotation. Alright, so all of these are going to be placed on the same layer. They say anytime you have two different objects meeting together and that you're hatching them, you should change the direction of the hatch to indicate different materials or different parts coming together. So what do? We grab onto this here and we're simply going to be rotating it 45 degrees. Or whatever it might work out to be. Alright, let's not use that one there. 45, no, let's rotate it 90 degrees. Alright, that's good enough. Alright, it's going to be the same on the other end as well. That's what I want to do. Alright, now please bear in mind that this here had an hole in it. That's the what do you call this, the bracket. So what I'll simply do, I'll draw a line, so I don't want to confuse it, up from here to there, because we forgot to add the hole on the elevation view. So we're adding it now, and we're going to trim out the hatch that we have inside there. So again, TR, enter, getting rid of, let me see why it's not allowing me to hatch or trim. TR, enter. Okay, oh, it is working. Alright, let's get rid of here as well, and it's going to be the same treatment over here as well. TR, enter, get rid of this hatch and this middle line here. Alright, Now for the pulley as well, we're going to be hatching the pulley. We're not hatching the shaft because we do not hatch shafts. Alright, however, it means that we're going to have this shaft running through this entire section, so it means that we can't have any of this line inside here like this. So what are we going to do? Wherever this line here is, we're going to grab onto it. We're grabbing onto this one here, and we're going to be trimming out everything that is in between. So basically all of this stuff here. Let me ensure my base points are properly selected. So here, 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 gone. Here as well, gone. Oops, deleted too much. Let me grab onto this line here, delete that. This line here, delete that. Remember, all our in detail lines are now going to become solid lines because we're now clearly seeing the visible edges. Inside here is the same treatment. We're getting rid of this portion that we're not going to be seeing, such as let's see. So we're looking at this here. Oh yeah, right here and right here. All right, so we have all of that in place. What else? We're trimming out all of this here. Alright, so we have all of that in place. Let's get rid of this line here, extend our center line, extend our center line. Alright, now you'd remember us drawing. Oh, let me get rid of those lines as well. TR, enter this and this. Alright, we need to redraw this line here, going down to touch a shaft, going up to touch a shaft. Would not have this line here, so we're going TR, enter right there. Alright, we have a little line here, we're getting rid of that. Alright, and this is what that will look like. So once that is in place, let's add our whatever this thing here is, the round head bolt. So let's grab onto this, CP, enter, grab onto this, and we're going to be placing it down here. We need to rotate it vertically, so we're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Then we're going to be copying it. Let's place it on the object layer first. Remember that this is a it is a bolt, or not a bolt, so we're not going to be hatching it. We need to have points where we can snap to, so I'm drawing on some temporary reference lines so I can have something to snap and place my points. So I'll grab onto this, I'll copy, select the center here as the base point, and then I'll place it here and over here. See how everything lines up? Alright, now once those are in place, it's time for us to now add the washer and the nut along this end here. So let's find our point that we're going to be snapping to. So we're going here. Alright, so let's double check. We have that there. Alright, so we now have something to snap to, so we can now grab onto this object, CP, enter, and we'll grab it here, and then we'll place it right here. Alright, you know, we have the shaft running through the middle, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to be trimming out these portions of the washer. Now for the nut, let's copy this. Alright, so we're not going to be sectioning not. So let's see if we can use dynamic tracking to guide us with this one here. Alright, dynamic tracking has not failed us. Alright, so we have that there. Alright, now once that is in place, it's time for us to neat up our drawing, finalize some other stuff with the drawing. So let's now grab onto our two drawings because we're basically finished. It's just that we have a lot of time now to finalize our drawings. So for example, adding the names, dimension, sorting out some of these hidden features, so on, sorting out some of these hatched features. So we're going to be hatching our pulley, so let's hatch our pulley as well. So let's hatch our pulley. That for here, let me just sort out something here for my pulley. I'm not sure how the pulley would look, but let's grab onto this and let's fillet some corners, fillet these corners. Alright, let's hatch the pulley now. Alright, just like that. Alright, MA, let's copy this property here and apply it to that one there. Alright, now for this now, where we have the bolt, alright, we're going to be sorting out all of that as well. So let's now add our labels. So we're adding our labels now. So we're moving this down a bit. And we're going to be adding our title, our various titles. So this is section, and we're going X dash X. Underneath we're going scale, scale is 1 to 1, and this is just overkilling because I'm going to have to do this again when I'm doing the title. Alright, so that's that there. Now I'm going to copy this and I'm going to put it up here. So we need some more space here, you know. So let's move this down a bit more. And this is the plan view. Plan view. Oops. Let's adjust this here. Alright, now for the overall thing, the title, it says that we're using the title step down pulley. So we're going here, the step down pulley. Let's scale this up a bit by about 2. And yes, we're going to be adding the scale again. 1, 2, 1. Placing this, aligning it to my right, like that. I like when my scale is like half the size of the title, so I'm going to make this 2.5, just like that. And I can now underline step down pulley, like that. Now what other things that I'm going to be doing is adding the dimensions, sorting out all the stuff with the drawing. When you're going to lay out your drawing, you could, here I have my templates already set up, my title block and everything. So all I need to do is just simply go here, select my scale 1 to 1. AutoCAD will automatically adjust the drawing to fit. Alright, so I'm going to be adding all my dimensions now. So I'm going to be adding my dimensions. So let's go. So they say that they want what? Overall dimension. Let's go. 8 dimension. Main dimensions must include length, diameter, all that fancy stuff. Let's go. So we have length. Alright, and we're going to be working on our dimension layer from now. So we have that there. We have here we're going to be doing some radius radius for, I don't know, maybe we can do it for the curve 5. We can do diameter for what can we put diameters on? We put diameters on, we can put diameters on this. This is the only circle that we're seeing. We can dimension some other parts as well, so we need 8 dimensions. Alright, so we're going to be showing dimensions for let's continue. For example, this coming up a bit. I'm going to annotative continue. Alright, so we have these. So how much are we now? We're going to do dimensions for this portion here. Alright, we're going to be doing dimensions for where the center of these circles are. So from here to the center, and we're doing from here to the center. Alright, we're going to use multi-leader to say that this is, let me double check what this is. This is an M10. So these are M10. Where is it? M10. So we're a bit killing this. So let's put some dimensions, some labels on this here. So this is an M10. So metric 10. Bolt. Alright, so for all the stuff that you can add, so this has to be sorted out, so we have to finish up all of these here. In the interest of time, I'm going to leave it here, but as you can see, there's so much things you could do to make your drawing perfect. Alright, so hatching what needs to be hatched, not hatching based on the rules and conventions. I hope this video was helpful for you in understanding the whole assembly process and breaking down the assembly into simple shapes. Alright, see you in the next video tutorial. Okay, don't forget to add your orthographic symbol. Alright, so in my case I did a third angle, so my plan is at the top, elevation is at the bottom. If you had done a first angle and your plan was at the bottom, and your elevation is at the top, then you do the right orthographic symbol. Since mine is a third angle, it means that I'm going to have the 2 circles on this end, and then I'm going to have the cone on my right. So I'm drawing mine now. So all of this now is out of the way. Here we go. So we have this to those. Let's add more center line. So we have our orthographic symbol, as you can see here, our third angle orthographic symbol. to ensure that we secure our marks. Alright,